Welcome to another edition of the Chicks on the Right podcast. This is the deep dive. And today we're raging a little bit about
millennials.
And I guess Gen Zers, maybe like that. All those younger people. We're raging about them.
You're shaking a rake.
Shaking the rake.
Okay, you know what I'm going to do after this podcast? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have a filet mignon in my air fryer.
Is it going to be bacon wrapped?
It's going to be bacon wrapped, and I'm going to make 2 of them because that's how I roll. I'm going to make 2 in the air fryer. I'm going to eat them like it's my job because I love them so much. But actually, you know what else I did is I got Omaha steaks for both of my moms, for my mother-in-law and my mother, because they look forward to that every year for Christmas. And it is the best gift ever to give people. And right now you can go to omahasteaks.com and take advantage of 50% off site-wide. Plus use our code CHICKS at checkout and you can get an additional $30 off your order on all the things, you guys, all of them.
And that's not going to last. I mean, it's 50% off a whole bunch of stuff right now, plus $30 when you use our code.
It's a ton.
Plus, it's not even just meat. Like they have all the sides, all these different desserts. They have different packages that you can put together, right? And cheesecakes and like all these. Like if you like apps, you can get a box of just apps.
It's fantastic.
I mean, there's so many choices and so many selections that you can make. omahasteaks.com. Use code CHICKS. Take advantage. Get your gifts. Get stuff for yourself. Do it right now. And it all started because we both saw a video on TikTok from a woman who has kids. She's a mom, and she's upset with her mother-in-law because the mother-in-law is unwilling to babysit for 10 straight days. And there's a lot of people that don't even know if this is real or satire. Regardless, we are raging about it. You must listen to this.
I asked my mother-in-law one day if she'd watch my kids for 10 days because I want to go away on a school trip.
Oh.
And she laughed at me. And then said, you have to move closer to me so I can watch your kids. And then maybe I'll actually help you. So I said, well, you're showing me you won't help my kids if I live across the country. Why would I move closer? It makes no sense. Anyways, I don't understand how selfish seniors are nowadays.
Oh my God.
If you want to help and you want your kids closer to you, then help.
Wow. Those boomers are they're selfish.
So selfish. Yeah. And this is her mother-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to end up with a daughter-in-law like this one day.
Oh my God. I will not.
I want to be at your house when that chick does this to you. And I want to be just sitting there with a glass of Prosecco, just watching what you do in response to this hag. Seriously.
Oh my
I just
God,
want
I
to
cannot
be there.
imagine.
Oh my God.
Now I must say that I was very, 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 very lucky. As you know, my older son he's extremely disabled, requires round-the-clock care. And when he was just a tiny, tiny tot and still required 24-hour care, I was so lucky that my mom lived close. My parents lived close, and they helped so much. But I cannot imagine living across the country and saying, can you just drop your entire life and come for 10 days so I can go on a cool trip?
10, and this is the thing. When was the last time you went on a 10-day trip? Like for
That's
real.
a pretty extensive trip.
Yeah, you think? I mean, seriously, that's like the first thing that jumped out at me when I watched this. I was like, first of all, who the hell goes on 10-day freaking trips? Like when you're an adult and you're doing the adult things and you grow up and you get a freaking job, no one takes 10-day trips. No one does. Okay, well, I haven't. I'm a Gen Xer. I'm a proud Gen Xer. Like usually you go, if you take a trip, it's like for 5 days because you have to get back to work unless you're going on sabbatical. Like you're not taking this chick. Oh my God. She's like, I want to take this really cool 10-day trip and leave my kids for 10 days. Who the freak does that? I mean,
okay, well, to be fair, I've done that.
You've done a 10-day trip? When did you go for 10 days?
To Australia. And so you have to go for that long to even make it a worthwhile trip.
Okay, but seriously. It
was for work. I mean, it was for my husband's work at the time. So it was kind of a joint work play trip. But
My
yeah, I was
God.
very, very lucky. Like I said, my mom loved taking care of Thomas, and she was, I mean, I'm so grateful to her for all of the help. But I think it's a little bit different too with the special needs kid,
I think it's
because
a lot different.
exhausting.
I think it's
just
a lot
to
different.
have that to manage from day to day. And so she wanted, as any mom does, she wanted to accept some of that burden. And God bless her for it.
I think it's a whole lot different, Mock. When you have and you had a special needs kid where dad wasn't involved.
Right.
You didn't have a dad involved. You had a dad that's split.
True.
That's a whole other thing that we've never talked about on the show. But yeah, dad was like, see ya, you're going to do this all on your own. So that's a whole different, I mean, you're comparing apples to watermelons.
Well, that's true.
It's true.
It's true.
It's totally true. Yeah. So there's that. But I mean, it's an entitlement thing. There's a lot of entitlement with this chick. Plus, why do they always have to be eating when they make videos? What is that?
That's a thing now.
It's
a thing when people want to tell a story that it's like this. You know, it's so funny that you say that, because I noticed this about guys too. When guys want to tell a story on TikTok and they want to appear as though it's super spontaneous and casual, and they just happened to have their phone right when they wanted to tell the story,
right, with
Here's
the right
what guys
lighting
do.
and the right setup,
right.
and like a phone stand, and yeah.
But what guys do is they throw an arm behind their head. So I don't know if you've noticed this, but now you'll probably be looking for it.
I'll never unsee
Guys
it.
will always just do that. They'll always just fling an arm over their head so that they appear super casual and relaxed. Women eat.
Who does
Yeah,
this?
that's what guys do. I had two
like this?
TikToks I was going to play during our regular show of guys doing that. And I was like, that's odd that they're both assuming this position.
It looks like they've been in an accident. What is that? What's wrong with you?
But then the women eat, and I don't know what that is. And it's always like a spoon. It's like ice cream or something
Is it
that like
supposed to be
requires a
sensual?
spoon.
Yeah.
Is that it?
It's supposed to draw attention to their mouth, so they're like super sensual. I think so. I think there's something there must be something psychological where they all watch some sort of master class on how to do TikToks, and it's like to make it look like you're super cash and like get a spoon and like eat something yogurty or Nutella-y where you're drawing attention to your mouth. I guess
that, or they apply makeup. They apply makeup while they tell stories.
Yes,
that happens all the time,
and they contour. I hate that. Like, what is that? Can you not just talk to the camera, or just don't? Maybe just don't. Because we don't want to hear you bitching about your boomer mother-in-law who you think you're entitled to like shove your kid on for 10 days to go on a really cool trip. I can't with this chick. I swear. Oh my God. Anyway, so there's that. So there's that whole thing. And then there was a whole other discussion that we have to have about this. There was a dude that came up, and I saw him through my daughter-in-law. And it's a further discussion that we need to have, because we've been seeing over the past, gosh, I don't know, it's been like months, where it's other influencers, and a lot of conservative influencers are talking about this whole notion of women not working and also not utilizing daycare. We've had this like a mini conversation about this on our show. But I think it requires a further discussion, because people are talking about this a lot, and you and I just have not discussed it nearly enough. But it's this phenomenon where it's like millennials and Gen Zers are saying, I say it's women in particular, they're saying that they shouldn't work outside the home. Like there should be more stay-at-home moms, and go back to like the traditional role of men being the breadwinners and women not. And we don't want to, I don't want to demonize that role, because I think being a stay-at-home mom is fine if you want to do that. But I think the flip side is happening. I think that working moms are being demonized, and I think daycare is being demonized. And I think that, sort of the strides in women being independent and being able to choose whether or not they want to work outside the home, that is being demonized. And
Yeah.
I don't like that. So we have guests coming in and out. I mean, from the time October hit until the time Christmas is over, we've got like 3 sets of family coming in, and they all stay at our cabin. And the only thing that makes our cabin, well, maybe not the only thing, but one of the things that elevates our cabin to a level that is luxurious, because it is a cabin, is My Pillow stuff. We put all the My Pillow like towels in there. We have the My Pillow mattress topper. We have the My Pillow sheets. We have all the My Pillow stuff in the cabin, and it's like the My Pillow cabin. It's fantastic. And everybody's like, "Oh my god, where'd you get these towels?" And I'm like, "Let me tell you, it's My
The
Pillow."
towels, man.
The towels
Everybody raves about the towels, and with good
best.
reason. There is
Mhm.
no better towel. I don't care what fancy hotel you've been to where you think, "Ooh, this is a nice towel." It's not.
No,
it's not
it's
as nice
not.
as My Pillow.
Right.
And that the 6-piece towel sets right now, 50% off plus free shipping, which does not last forever. So tis the season. That's why they're offering free shipping right now. 50% off towels, 50% off the mattress toppers, 50% off the My Pillow 2.0s. So many great deals. So whether you're playing Santa for your loved ones or you're just treating yourself, you should visit mypillow.com/chicks. Make sure you enter code chicks and take advantage of the free shipping before Christmas. Have you seen that there's like have you heard this trad wife phenomenon have you seen the trad wives
I've
all over socials?
a little bit. And like what is happening? What's going on there?
So it's like they're reverting back to literal Mad Men era where they're dressing up in the dresses and they're cooking and they're cleaning, and that is their world, and that's what they want, and they want to serve their husbands, and their entire role is about when their husband gets home, they're there to rub his feet, they're there to prepare his meal, they're there to make him his favorite drink, and that is their role. And in return, in exchange for that, they get provided for. So they have their needs met, and they don't, I mean, that's their lives, and that's their life, and they love it. And so there's this explosion that I've seen. I don't know if it's just like, I don't know why that algorithm is working for me the way it is, because I don't want that, but that's what I'm seeing a lot of are these trad wives, and they're promoting that lifestyle, and it's almost like a whole different thing.
It's almost like cosplay.
It kind of is, because like it's the traditional dresses that they're wearing. It's super weird where they're kind of sexy. Like there's a lot of cleavage showing, but also, full, like, T-length dresses or under the knee dresses. It's just, the whole thing is very weird.
It is a little weird to me too. Cause it's not, I mean, like, I wasn't raised like that.
Yeah.
I was not. So we should play this one video from this dude that I saw the other day that just, listen, the comments, I always run directly to the comments. The comments were overwhelmingly, "Oh my God, this is so great. I love this. I want to, I love this. This guy's awesome. I love what he's saying." As a conservative woman myself, I didn't like what he was saying. It rubbed me the wrong way. To each their own, though. So you guys, your mileage may vary.
To bring back stay-at-home wives. Women are just not meant to work these soul-sucking 9-to-5 corporate desk jobs, working 3 hours a week in a cubicle and getting verbally harassed by their asshole boss. Think back to our parents' generation. How many families had a working dad, a stay-at-home mom, and kids that were raised by the mother? A lot. Meanwhile, nowadays, the husband and the wife are both working these 40-hour-a-week jobs. The kids are left to a babysitter or some school program, and there's no family dynamic. You're going to tell me there's a greater sense of fulfillment for a woman working 40 hours a week at a desk job compared to staying at home, taking care of the house, and raising a family? And this isn't to say that women shouldn't work. They should just work a job that still gives them time to tan by the pool, go to Pilates, go to farmers markets in a sundress, and raise a family. I honestly think that this is why there's so many broken households today. The husband and the wife both go work 40 hours a week. The kids go to some after-school program or some daycare and get raised by some nut job. And there's no connection or relationship between the parents and the kids. So instead of devoting all your time to some shitty boss at a 9-to-5 job, I think women should devote most of their time to their kids and their family. And if you still want to work a 9-to-5 job and make money, more power to you. But I don't think women should be demonized by society for not wanting to work, staying home, and raising a family.
Okay.
So much to unpack.
There really is. Because, I mean, it's like, it was so condescending to women. Don't you think that's kind of condescending to women? Like the whole notion of like the Pilates wife.
It's there. Here's what you really want to be doing.
You want to be taking
Pilates.
Pilates.
Need to be fulfilled.
Right. You want to be taking Pilates every day and like tanning yourself by the pool. I mean, you can have a job, but it's not like a job that requires you being with a shitty boss. I mean, not all jobs have shitty bosses. First of all, he makes the assumption that all all jobs have shitty bosses. I haven't experienced that. Have you experienced that? Because I mean, I've had a couple shitty bosses, but then we are the boss now.
Yeah.
So that just means that we're shitty bosses to each other. I don't, because we're not. You know what I mean? Like, we own
Well,
our own
when has there
business.
ever been, like, at what point in history were jobs 9 to 5? I've never worked those hours.
Totally. I
What
know.
is that?
It's just right. It's just so bizarre. So, and then like the farmer's market and the sundresses is like, it's just this bizarre, stereotypical view of the way women should be. And I don't like it. I don't like how he's putting us in these compartmentalized boxes of how women are and how women should be, or he at least views how women should be. Cause you don't get to decide that for me. I don't like that. That's not the
Well,
I
and
like
for
it.
him to say this is why marriages break up. I mean, I don't think that
No.
really holds any water. Or when he says that parents are no longer connected to their kids, I think also that that's bullshit, because you can easily have a career. We've both done it, and
Right.
stay incredibly connected to your kids. Like, that's
Totally.
that's just
We've
a
both
really
done
crap
that.
excuse.
We've both done that. And that is where I think I get rubbed the wrong way, because I see a lot of these younger, dare I say millennial, that aren't married and don't have kids, influencers out there. Some of them are married and have kids, but some of them aren't married and they don't have kids, and they're out there talking about this very subject, and they're saying that you can't stay connected to your kids if you're working outside the home, and you can't stay connected to your kids if you put your kids in daycare. And I'm like, really? Are you sure about that? Because we've done it. We're living
Right.
proof that you can do that. And my kids are just fine. My kids are flourishing. My older kids are 30. They're your age. They're 34 and 30, and they're doing just fine. They're fantastic kids. They're both conservative. And then the youngest one is 13. She's doing great. In fact, I'm home, right? I mean, I work at home and we connect every day. And so you can do it. You actually can. I mean, dare I say, have it all, but you can work outside the home. And I have an identity that is not just being in a sundress at a freaking farmer's market, you know,
Right.
and doing Pilates. And I don't want to do that. Now, if somebody wants to do that, that's fine. But you know, part of the reason that this also rubs me the wrong way is that personally, I have a background, and maybe it's just me, but my background is I grew up with that, I guess, that nuclear family, which it was mom, dad, and then two of us girls. Mom worked a job. She worked outside the home, but it was more kind of part-time because she gave that up from my father. And my father was, for all intents and purposes, he was the primary breadwinner. He made the most money, and my mom kind of knew her place. And, that didn't really work out for her because she had to hop from, state to state. When he got promotions, we would move. And, her career came second to his. It wasn't a 50-50 relationship. There wasn't balance there.
Mm-hmm.
And so in the long run, when he ended up having an affair with his secretary and leaving her, she was put in a position where she was like, my career has been put on the back burner. So she didn't have the earning capacity that he did.
Right.
And that sucked for her. And I saw that. I witnessed that as a young girl. And I was like, I'm never going to let that happen to me. And I haven't. So my husband and I are 50-50. I know you're the same way with your husband.
Yeah. And it's very hard to imagine. And again, it's a personal choice, but it's very, very hard to imagine not living that way. I cannot, we can joke about like how nice it must be to like sit home and do just whatever you want all day. But like, I would get bored of that in about 10 days. I would be like, this has been great. And now I need to be intellectually stimulated. I need to have adult conversations. I need to feed my brain. And I don't know. I don't know how to not be that way. I appreciate that there's a choice and women are obviously entitled to make the choice. What's unfortunate is that now we live in an economy where so many people who would choose to stay home cannot.
Right.
And so that sucks, right? So
it does.
that really sucks for the people that want to make that choice, who want to be stay-at-home moms and can't financially do it. I mean,
Agreed.
that is awful.
Yeah, I do. I totally agree with that too. Yeah. And it should be a choice. However, I don't like this whole, this movement kind of, I guess it is sort of, because it is kind of a movement, because, you talk about the algorithm, and I'm seeing a lot of algorithm stuff coming up on my feeds where it is sort of this demonization of working moms
Yeah.
and demonization of daycare. There's no shame in it. It's like, we should be able to choose how we want to raise our families, and that's what our foremothers fought for, right? Is to just have that choice, to have the choice, because I have friends who are stay-at-home moms, and I have friends who are CEOs. We're co-CEOs of a company,
Mm-hmm.
and we've managed to have families and be wives and still try to juggle it all. And there are days that are hard, but I'm sure there are days that are hard for stay-at-home moms too.
Yeah.
And it is what it is, but we're all doing it, and we're just doing it differently. And that's okay, because that's what our foremothers, that's what they paved the way for us to do, is to be able to have that choice. So I'm not sure why there's this, we blame every ill of society on whether or not moms are doing this or moms are doing that. Really?
Right.
Are we going to do that? Because it's not about what we're doing or not doing. I think that we should probably have deeper conversations as to why society is, as you would say, so borked. But I don't think we should blame it on moms. You know what I mean? Or what we're doing.
It is interesting that like the younger generations are now, it's like the pendulum swung all the way, so that everyone, women went to college, they got degrees, they have careers, and now women are like, well, this sucks. Like, this is hard, and I would much rather be in Pilates or laying by the pool. And so now there's this, now the pendulum is swinging back, and maybe there's going to be some sort of balance that comes out of it. I don't know. But it does seem, it's true that there does seem to be this push lately, especially in conservative circles, for women to get back to their traditional roles. And it just hasn't been that way in so long. And it's hard to imagine not being able to provide for one's self, whether you're male or female. Relying on another person to provide for you just seems like a risky proposition, no matter how you slice it.
And it seems a little anti-conservative, because we're the party of personal responsibility.
That's true.
And at least that's what I tell my daughters. Make sure that you can take care of yourself. It's Christmas, my favorite time of year, the holiday season, everybody. And it's time for gift giving, parties with friends, family, getting compliments everywhere you go. I'm looking forward to the compliments because I use Genucel. And you can look years younger because of Genucel. So from now until Christmas, Genucel's most popular package is better than 70% off. So that's 70, you guys. Genucel.com is better than 70. And all you got to do is go to Genucel.com. You can treat yourself, as Mock would say, and a loved one too, to the absolute best skincare in the world with their immediate effects, which I use every single morning. Every morning I use that before a show, which is the crack of dawn. And you can see results in less than 12 hours. I see it literally. I see the results in less than an hour. But you can see results in less than 12 hours guaranteed, or your money back. So plus included in every most popular package is free hyaluronic acid serum for skin hydration. And I'm serious. This is the best offer, you guys. You got to check this out.
And it's super easy. All you have to do is go to Genucel.com/chicks right now. Enter special promo code chicks for an additional 10% off the entire order. That's after the above 70% off. So you're saving a ton. And every order is instantly upgraded to free express shipping. It's Genucel.com/chicks, GENUCEL.com/.
I don't think there's anything wrong with telling your daughters that. We tell our son that. It's, first and foremost, we are the party of conservatism is all about personal responsibility. There's nothing wrong with saying to your daughters, make sure you can take care of yourself, make sure you have skills, make sure you can take care of yourself, because at the end of the day, that's who you're responsible for. You're responsible for yourself. And then if you bring children into this world, make sure that you can support them. Make sure you can feed them, because you just don't know what's going to happen. You don't know. You don't have a crystal ball as to what's going to happen in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. You don't know. Make sure you can take care of the people around you and the people that you love. And I know that I can do that. Right. I know I can do it. I absolutely adore my husband. I adore him. And we're a team. But if anything ever happens to him, at least I know that I can take care of myself, and I can take care of my children, my child. And
Mhm.
I feel good about that, you know? And that's because of the stuff that at least the lessons that I learned in life.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And I also grew up in a way that that's how, I mean, both of my parents worked, and they were
Right.
both in professional careers. They were both scientists.
Yeah.
And so I always just knew that what I modeled, or what they modeled for me, was they each had careers that were fulfilling to them, and they
Mhm.
were still great parents to me and my sister. And
Right.
somehow that all worked great. And so I thought, okay, well, this is what's been modeled to me, and this is how I intend to live my life too. And I cannot imagine doing it a different way. But
Right.
it does suck for the people that want to and can't. And for that, you can just thank Bidenomics.
Yeah, exactly. That has everything to do with the economy. I totally agree. I absolutely agree. But there's really no way around that unless we, you know, we preach about that every single day on our show. You got to get around that by voting for the right people and putting the right people in office and getting the economy back on track. And, you know, you can't do that unless people get off their butts and they go vote. So
Exactly. So get off your butts and go vote.
Right. And listen, millennials are the ones who are like, they overwhelmingly voted for Biden. So I can't help you if you can't vote the right way, you know? What are you going to do?
That's
Yeah.
exactly
So
right.
that's our beef with millennials and Gen Zers, at least this
Today.
week. Today. Yeah.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. You're right. Okay. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.